Ladies and gentlemen, the Bit of It Show.
What is up, my fellow heathens? Welcome to Atheist on Fire. Still no one has lit me on fire, so still I am ecstatic about that. I'd first like to say that I went ahead and splurged out, and I've got a little more time on here, and I'm going to start trying to do a fairly regular thing here. I've mentioned before, I'm an atheist in the Bible Belt itself, more like the armpit of the Bible Belt here in Georgia. So I do have a lot of gripe. I do have a lot of complaint because it is very prevalent in where I live, and it does take over a lot of things here, and I'm not really happy about how far it's trying to creep in. But today we're gonna cover a little thing. Oh yeah, and I'd also like to give me a little shout out to my two new friends here, Ed and Dave from the north of the border here in America. So up in Canada, and I forget where Ed's from. I think it's like Newfoundland or something like that. But I really appreciate the reach out, guys, and hooking up with you, and all the help's been greatly appreciated, and I can't wait to hang out with you guys on your show at Wayward Atheist. But I'm today's little show is going to be about Noahs Ark. I love this topic. This one's great. I can't get away from it because it's funny to me. Actually, it's just that's what it is. The whole story of Noah's Ark is Noah just heard from God that there was going to be a great flood, and that Noah needed to build a boat. And the only people that could help him with this boat apparently were going to be him and his unskilled family at boat building. And then when they got the boat built, and it was going to be a massive boat, the biggest boat ever built in history. When they got this boat built, they were going to have to collect all the animals of the world and bring all the animals of the world on here. And God was going to flood the world and kill everybody but Noah and his family and the animals. Kill everybody. Just bear that in mind. All the people, regardless. Even the little babies who hadn't had a chance to know anything yet. But anyway, I digress. My first problem, not my first problem, there's so many that it's not even fucking, I don't understand how people believe this. It's just wow. I'm at a loss for words at some point on talking about this. But let's, boat building, guys, come on. This was an unskilled family that was going to build a boat that was going to require so much skill because it was the largest boat that had ever been built. Ever. There are boat builders that have had decades of boat building experience who could not build a boat that size. I think it was the Queen Mary, the largest wooden sailing vessel in history, and it wasn't quite as big as the Ark. It broke apart sailing in somewhat normal seas, not even a big giant storm or anything. I mean, you have to understand that boats twist and turn and creak and crack in every kind of fucking direction you can think of. It's crazy. Yeah, basically, if you can take a balloon and bend it that way, that's how a boat's going to bend. I mean, that's a good way to look at it. It's not solid. I mean, it is solid, but it's not solid. It bends. It twists. It turns. It creaks. It cracks. Do you know how much pitch it would take to keep that boat afloat? That's ridiculous. Okay, but let's just give them the fact that maybe they could build a boat. Somehow it happened. That still doesn't assert a God. So we'll go into something else. The animals. Now, do you really expect me to believe that somehow Noah and his family were able to herd 2 of every animal on this planet so that they could repopulate the world with every animal on this planet? Do you think every animal on this planet got there? I mean, really? How did they get there? I mean, did the penguins really go all the way from the South Pole to the Middle East? I mean, did they? And let's be honest, wouldn't there have been an issue with them being somewhere that hot for that long? I mean, that's really not their thing, I don't think, those South Pole penguins. How about South American sloths? Some animals it actually takes more than 2 of, because they do it in like colonies of animals. Where'd the termites stay and the carpenter ants? Have you ever thought about? I mean, just stupid shit like that, guys. Come on. Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of a chimpanzee? Have you ever done it in the rain? It would be like grabbing him and trying to stuff him into a Volkswagen. Now, do it again. I mean, really, that's ridiculous. Who cleaned up all the poop? Where'd all the shit go? There was only 8 people on that boat. Do you think they shoveled shit for all those animals? I mean, that's ridiculous. You know how long the flood lasted? What did they say? It rained for 40 days and for 40 nights. Okay, so you got that 40. And then, what was it, 180 days or something after the waters receded? So you're talking like 220 days. It's like 8-9 months, dude. What in the hell? No. How did they... I mean, no. That's ridiculous. When the waters recede after that 180 days, we all know what's happened to the world. There's nothing's alive anymore. It's a barren wasteland. So what do they eat when they get off? I mean, I know what the carnivores eat. The first fucking thing they can catch. That animal's gone extinct now. Sorry. Where's this big, huge fossil record of everything having died? I mean, do you know how nasty that would have been when the waters receded and all those dead things were everywhere like that? The amount of disease that would have been rampant at that point would be ridiculous. Easily being able to wipe off the earth those 8 people. I mean, wow. Just imagine the dysentery from all the nasty sludge and funk that would be in anything that they could consider drinking water. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no. I couldn't do that. Oh, yeah. We might die. Just giving you, let me just say this, as a little tangent. Just giving you the fact all the way up to the point where the waters completely enveloped all land, everything. It was higher than all the land. The water was deeper than the land is tall. That's what I've always said. There was no land visible, nothing. The Bible says until all the lands were covered. Okay. If the water was deep enough to cover Mount Everest, which y'all say it is, how the fuck did they breathe? I don't think anybody's really asked that question a lot. Even if I concede all the way to the point where the water covered all the land, if the water was that deep, how did they breathe? People that climb Mount Everest have to wear oxygen tanks on their back, or they die. I mean, how does that not... your brain's clicking, man. How does that not get in there? You can't breathe. All the water would turn to ice, and so it would be like a frozen, desolate fucking planet. Nothing would survive that. But let's just assume I give you all of that and we get off, and now we're out and we're living on the land, and it's just these 8 people and these 2 animals, and somehow they miraculously all survive. The amount of inbreeding it would take to create this population would leave everything just mentally incompetent, just retarded beyond any point of usefulness. You can't do that. I mean, we can look to distinct populations in places of the world and go, yep, that's not good. You know, inbreeding like that on that level is absolutely ridiculous. I can't even, I wouldn't even want to fathom how mentally incompetent and how just all the fucking birth defects we would have. That would be crazy. But, you know, also, yeah, dude, that's crazy. Just think about that for a minute. Take all the time you need on that one. Let's just assume we're not all complete mental retards, and we somehow start repopulating the world without just mental dwarfs. We were at the time the flood happened was right before the pyramids, and all the biblical scholars will give you the exact date. I don't remember what it is right off the top of my head, but the pyramids, dude, really, we would have somehow had to repopulate the world with enough people to build the pyramids, you know, like within 200 or 300 years, and there is no way mathematically that happened. Not a chance. I mean, not a chance. There's no way. There's no physical evidence for this flood ever happening. The only place it really happens is, well, lots of other myths. It was actually a better story, I think, when the Babylonians had the title Gilgamesh. You know, I don't know if that was the title, but that's the story about Gilgamesh. It's the same one. It's repeated. There's just a little bit changes here and there, but it's pretty much the same story. And there's no evidence for it ever happening. We have histories of people. They lived during this time period in this area, and their histories don't have a gap in them like that. Nobody mentions this flood. Nobody. No actual recorded histories mention it anywhere. There's lots of fables from different cultures at different time periods, but they're not all the same. But all of them that happen in that area are the same. So, you know, it's just, we have too many things that say it never happened. And for you guys to always answer that question with, well, God works in mysterious ways, means I'm done thinking. And I just can't understand how you can believe the Noahs Ark thing. And what makes it bad is people like Ken Ham, they actually got taxpayers' money. He got something like $18 million of Kentucky taxpayer money to help him build this park. And from what I understand, it's completely flopping on its face. And it's a Noah's Ark rendition, creationist style, where dinosaurs are in cages with cavemen and Noah's people and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! And I mean, come on, dude. Really? Taxpayers' money for this fucking nut job? I cannot believe it.